Hey guys, Ibra here with Hardware Canucks, and at CES, Corsair is launching a ton of new products, but we were able to try out a few of them before the show. Basically, these three mice showed up a few weeks before they were announced, and while one of them is a revision to a classic, the other two are just brand new. But first, a message from our sponsors, because without the help from Corsair, MSI, Razer, Phanteks, and Thermaltake, none of this coverage would have been possible. Alright, so let's start with one of Corsair's most interesting announcements, and that's their partnership with Pixart to create one of the most accurate mouse sensors on the market, the PMW3391. It is a native 18,000 dpi sensor that can actually be adjusted in 1 dpi increments. Honestly, I'm not sure why anyone would want that amount of adjustments, but hey, it's a cool marketing point. That sensor is actually the main reason why the M65 RGB Elite is around, since it basically uses the same anodized aluminum body and adds the 3391 sensor. It still costs $60 too, so no premium here. We actually looked at the M65 Pro RGB a few years ago and came away thinking that it was a good mouse, and you can actually find that video right over here. The cool thing is that it has adjustable weight system that can be used to reduce weight to 97 grams or increase it to 112 grams. Nothing else has really changed with this one, but be aware that the M65 is a low and wide mouse, so it is only suitable for certain grip styles. The next mouse I wanted to talk about is the new Harpoon Wireless, which basically uses the classic Harpoon shape and adds a bunch of new technology. This mouse can operate in one of three modes: via wired USB, ultra low latency Bluetooth, or 2.4 GHz slipstream, which delivers extremely fast wireless response times. Battery life is rated for up to 60 hours if used without any RGB, but enabling RGB and slipstream will cut that life down to about 30 hours. Another improvement over the original Harpoon is the 10,000 dpi PWM3325 optical sensor instead of the 6,000 dpi sensor. There have been a few other minor changes to improve handling and quality, but overall, it looks like this version has a lot going for it. There's a small storage compartment to store the 2.4 GHz wireless receiver when it's not being used, and this is pretty convenient. There are some downfalls to adding wireless technology, and those focus mostly on two areas: weight and pricing. The wired Harpoon is known as one of the lightest mice available at just 85 grams, whereas the wireless version is 99 grams. As for price, this mouse will go for around $50 versus $30 for the wired version. In my time with the Harpoon Wireless, there were a few issues. First, it absolutely needs surface calibration through IQ because the default liftoff distance is just way too high for my liking. I also noticed that the right-click button hardly needed any effort to press. That meant quick flicks to left sometimes caused an inadvertent right-click. Okay, so finally onto the last of this bunch, and that's the brand new Ironclaw Rgb, and let me tell you, this is one massive gaming mouse. Corsair specifically designed this for people with large hands or those who prefer a palm-style grip. Based on our experience, it can actually be quite uncomfortable for someone who doesn't fall into one of those categories, so this is definitely a try it before you buy it type of mouse. Like the M65 RGB Elite, the Ironclaw uses the new Pixart PMW3391 18,000 dpi sensor, but it uses a completely plastic body. The benefit of this is that despite a huge size, it actually has a weight of just 105 grams. There are also 7 programmable buttons, which could make this mouse a good option for mobile players. The onboard profile storage and a dedicated button to cycle through them is pretty much a must-have for a mouse these days. And considering alternatives like the Razer Naga, the Ironclaw's $60 price point makes it a more affordable option for people with larger hands. So there you guys have it, 3 new mice for the start of 2019, and we'd love to know your thoughts about them. Have you ever owned a Corsair mouse before? And if you did, what was your experience like? Is there anything else that you'd want to see from their peripherals? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Ibra with Hardware Canucks. Stay tuned for more CES 2019 coverage, and we'll see you in the next one.